Okay, welcome everyone to Basic Music Knowledge. My name is KINGSLEY OWUSU MENSAH. Before we start, let's train up a Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for giving us once again another day to study piano. We commit ourselves into your hands, that you take absolute control of our hearts and our minds so that we'll be able to eschew what we are going to study. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ have we prayed. Amen. Onyame Ensha said what joining me with basic music knowledge. And it is you piano skills, sight singing, and a composition. So you can always check out KINGSLEY OWUSU MENSAH on YouTube, and you have all other lessons. Piano. So before we start, the origin of music starts from God, who is the originator. Until Nyankopon and I'm said he loves music. Until the scriptures account that when God created human beings, he also gave us the ability to also sing and then make music. So the essence of becoming a musician, I would like to encourage you that it is a spiritual gift, and this spiritual gift is eternal, and that when you enroll yourself or you develop your talent in music, your gift would never expire. So God really help you to also be able to develop your talent, especially in piano skills. But before we go straight into our study for today, we've learned so many lessons since July 5, 2020. So I will entreat you, so you can go back to the previous lessons and you have a full lecture about what I'm going to do, a recap today. We started with a great staff, clefs, lines, and then spaces. And for your information, this is just the basic music knowledge. So in the first place, when we talk about music, it's the arrangement of sounds in a pleasant way. So it consists of sounds and then silences. So it's either we are making a music or we are quiet. And we start by learning the music staff or the stave. This is how it is. It is a visual, it visually shows what we call sounds, which may be sung by human voice or played by instruments. Okay, so we have lines and then spaces. So the staff is made up of what we call 5 horizontal lines and then 4 spaces, and they are numbered from bottom to top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5 lines and then 4 spaces. Now the clef, the clef, the clef, the clef is a symbol that is placed vertically on the left hand, okay, the left hand side of the staff. In other words, no note on a stave has a fixed pitch until a clef has been put on the stave. So we have this symbol called the treble clef. Good. This symbol is also known as the bass clef. The bass clef. Good. Now we move on to what we call the grand staff. The grand staff. On the grand staff, we have the treble clef and then the bass clef. Notice this is called the brace joining the two clefs, joining the two clefs. Okay, now we move on to what we call the ledger lines. Ledger lines, they are used to notate pitches that are above or below the lines and spaces, okay, of the regular, what we call musical staff. So this is the regular musical staff. And then these are the ledger lines. They are just smaller lines. They could be extended higher or lower by means of what we call ledger lines. Ledger lines. So we have this at the middle called middle C, middle C, middle C. And the rest, they are all known as ledger lines, ledger lines. Okay, let's quickly move on. Shannon said the first 7 English alphabets are used in music. So once we know from middle C, we just count from left to right, from left to right. So it's like counting C, D, E, F, G, then we go back to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we get back to A. But notice the difference between the middle C and then the C with that accent at the top, differentiating this C from that C. And then look at this, the C2, okay, yes. Okay, so try and then memorize the names of the treble clef, the lines and then the spaces. They are very, very simple. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You can memorize it. Or there is other method with the lines, we say E, G, B, D, F, and then F, A, C, E, F, A, C, E. With other books, they will say every good boy deserves favor, and then face, 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 to make it more easier. Okay, then we get to the bass staff. Okay, from the middle C, it's like counting the English alphabet from right to left, from right to left. Okay, so we have C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Then notice the difference between the middle C and then C with the accent downward, okay? C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, 2. Okay, now, in case you want to memorize, you can just try this. Good boy deserves favor always. That is G, B, D, F, A. And then with a space, we have all colleges eat Gary. Very interesting. So A, C, E, G, as simple as that. So in summary, you have the great staff, that is the great staff. We have C, D, E, F, then, counting from left to right, and then from right to left. You can just simply memorize this, and then everything will be okay. Now we move on to music notes and then their values. Whenever there is a music playing, you hear the beat of the music. And these beats comprise of what we call brief, semi-brief, minim, crotchet, quaver, semi-quaver, demi, semi-quaver, semi-demi, semi-quaver, quaver. In other words, the semi-demi semi-quaver is also called hemi-demi semi-quaver. Okay, that is the British way. So let's look at the simple time when the crotchet is the beat. So we have the brief. This is the note symbol, and then this is the rest symbol. The length is 8 crochet beats. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or ta, ah, 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 8 crochet beats. Good. So we move to the next, semi-brief. Here is the note symbol. Here is the rest symbol. The length is 4 crochet beats. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. In other words, ta, ah, ah, ah. Okay, now we move on to the next. Minim, minim. The note symbol. Here is the note symbol. Here is the rest symbol. The length, it has 2 crochet beads. That is 1, 2, or ta, ah. Then we have the crochet. Here is the note symbol. Here, the crotchets, the rest symbol for crochet is either this or that. Okay, so you can take notice of that. Okay, the length is 1 and the rhythm is ta or 1. Now we move on to what we call quaver. Here is the note symbol. Here is the rest symbol. And then the length is half, which is ta. Okay, half of 1 is ta. And then crochet is ta. Okay, good. Then we move on to the next one, which is semi-quaver. Semi-quaver, here is the note symbol with 2 flags. Remember, we call this the note head, the stem, and then flag. So with quaver, it has 1 flag, but with semi-quaver, we have 2 flags. Look at the rest symbol. I hope you can differentiate between the quaver and then the semi-quaver rest symbols. Okay, we have 2, here we have 1. The same thing applies to the flags. We have 1, we have 2. So the length is quarter. So that is much more smaller than the quaver. So it's like T, okay, T. Then we have demi-semi-quaver. Demi-semi-quaver has 3 flags, 1, 2, 3. The same thing applies to the rest. And then the length is 1/8. It's very short. I mean, it is shorter than what we call the semi-quaver, shorter than semi-quaver. So if this is T, it's like t, very fast. I mean, it's faster than semi-quaver. Okay, and then we have semi-demi semi-quaver. Sorry, semi-demi semi-quaver has 4 flags. The same thing applies to the rest symbol, and then the length is 1/16, which is also smaller as compared to demi semi-quaver. Remember, this is the basic music knowledge. So at our level, we will just be okay up to the level of what we call semi-quaver, and everything will be okay with us. Now let's move on. The music tie, slur, and then the dot. Look at the tie. Okay? And then look at, it joins 2 notes. I mean, 2 sounds. So you have the same sound, 2 notes. Crochet, minim, but they are all in the space, what we call F. So you just place your hand on the keyboard or the piano, and then you just count. It's like 1 plus 2, making 3 counts, 3 crochet beats. So that is the work of the tie. The same thing applies. 2 plus 2 is like we just stay for 4 crochet beads. Okay, the same thing applies to the rest. Now let's look at the sled. I want you to notice the difference between the tie and then the sled. The sled joins two different sounds. So you have, this is in A, this is B. So A and B joining together, 2 plus 2, but you hear two different sounds. That is what we call slur. Now let's move on to the dot. What is the work of a dot? A dot divides a note and then add its half to the value of that note. The mechanism, this is brief. Brief has 8 beats. So when a dot is being applied or added to it, it means 8 plus half of 8 is 4. So 8 plus 4 will give us 12. The same thing is either you see this symbol, the note symbol, or the rest symbol. Now let's look at a double dotted note. Double dotted brief means the value, the note value plus half of the value plus quarter of the value. Okay, so we have 8 plus 4 plus 2. Again, 8 plus 4 plus 2, which will give us 14. So this is the note symbol, and then this is the rest symbol. Okay, now let's look at semi-brief. Semi-brief has 4 beats, but dotted semi-brief, it means semi-brief plus half of semi-brief is 2. So it's like 4 plus 2, which will give us 6. Dotted semi-brief is 4 plus 2 plus 1. 4 plus 2, 6, plus 1, 7. Okay, now let's look at dotted minim. Dotted minim. Dotted minim. So this is how they are placed on the staff. I just want you to take notice of that. Now let's move on to the dot. Dotted minim. Dotted minim. Okay, dotted minim has 2 bits. When a dot is being added, it becomes 2 plus 1, making it 3. Double dotted minim becomes 2 plus 1 plus half. Okay, now the next one is dotted crochet. So it's 1 plus half. Double dotted crochet is 1 plus half plus quarter. Okay, let's move on. This is how they are applied, especially on the staff. Okay, now dotted quiver. Dotted quiver, half plus quarter. Double dotted quiver is half plus quarter plus 1/8. It's as simple as that. So this is how they are being applied on the staff. Now we move on to music bar lines, simple time signatures, and then what we call an acoustic rhythm. Remember, all these titles have been treated. When you look at my YouTube account, you find these lessons with specific explanations, deep explanations into these topics. So you can just have your free time and then watch. You can also subscribe so that when you have subsequent lessons, you can also have access to them. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at bar lines. Bar lines. Music is divided into bars by means of what we call bar lines. So we have double bar line. It indicates an end of a section or of a song or a piece of music. So it's as simple as that. Bar line, no, double bar line, it means now we move on to time signature. Time signature consists of two figures. We have the top and then the bottom. So the time signatures that are most usually found are, we have 2/4, which is simple duple time. We have simple triple. We have 4/4, which is simple quadruple, or the common time. Now this is how they are being used on the staff. Okay, so we have 3/4, 3 crochet beads in a bar. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. As simple as that. 4/4 time, half plus half plus 1 plus half plus half plus 1. 4, making 4 crochets in a bar. Minim plus minim, making 4 crochets in a bar. Now we have 2/4. 2/4. But before we go, this is an acoustic rhythm. With an acoustic rhythm, what it means is that when a musical phrase starts with an incomplete bar, it starts with an incomplete bar. Look, the time signature is 2/4, but it starts with one crotchet, so it's incomplete. Okay, instead of the first beat of a bar, its rhythm is said to be what we call an acoustic. So when a musical phrase starts with an incomplete bar instead of on the first beat, especially of a bar, its rhythm is said to be what we call an acoustic. Other terms are weak beats and then upbeat. Okay, so when a beat of when the beats of the beginning and the end are added up, they make what we call a complete bar. Look at this. 1 plus 1 will make a complete bar. That is 2 crotchets in a bar. Look at this one. The same thing. Half plus 1.5 will give us 2, 4. It is a complete bar. Okay, let's move on. 3/4. The same thing applies to 3/4. When you add up the first bar and then the last, it makes what we call 3 crotchets in a bar. The same thing 4/4. When you add 1 plus 1 plus 2, it gives what we call 4/4, the time signature. Now let's look at the compound time signature. Compound time signature is when the dotted crotchet is the beat. The dotted crotchet is the beat. When a bottom figure is 8, for instance, this is just a recap of the 2/4, 3/4. So duple 2/4, 3/4. Yeah, that is 4/4. It's 4 crochets in a bar. As simple as that. Now we move on to the compound time signature. As I said, when the bottom figure is 8, it means quavers. Which are lower than what we call crochets. So we have quavers, which is half beat. So 6/8 represents 6 quavers or dotted crochet beads in a bar. 9/8 represents 9 quavers or dotted 3 dotted crochet beads in a bar. Okay, and then 12/8 represents 12 quavers or 4 dotted crochet beads in a bar. It's very simple as that. But at this level, basic music knowledge, what you normally meet or practice will be, or that are more of easier for you to practice, is the time signature known as 6/8. 6/8 is very familiar. This is how they are being placed on the staff. 6/8 beat. Now we have 9/8. This is how they are being placed on the staff. Your 9/8. Then we have 12/8. 12/8. Example, this is how they are being placed on the staff. Now, when we move on to the major key signatures, we have these: C, G, D, A, E, B, F, and then C with the sharp keys. Okay, with the sharp keys. C is like at the center of all the key signatures. With the flat keys, we have F major, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and then C flat. C flat. Take notice of this. F has 1 flat, B flat has 2 flats, E flat 3, A flat 4, D flat 5, G flat 6, and then C flat 7. Okay, so this is like a clock of the major key signatures, making it easier for you to memorize. Good. Now we move on to accidentals. What is the work of accidentals? When the sound of A to J is being raised by a semitone, it is said to be sharpened. So this is A sharp, F sharp, G sharp. It's being raised by a semitone. D sharp, E sharp. When it's being raised by a tone, we call double sharp. So this is A double sharp, E double sharp, B double sharp, G double sharp, and then E double sharp. Now we look at the flat keys. When, on the other hand, when A to G is decreased by a semitone, it is also said to be flattened. So this is A flat, G flat, this is C flat, this is E flat, this is A flat, this is D flat, this is G flat, this is double being decreased by a tone. A tone is like the double sharp. The same thing applies to double flat, decreased by what we call a tone or a full step. Semitone is a half step. Tone is a full step. So we have A double flat, we have D double flat, G double flat, F double flat, and then B double flat. In case you want more explanations, you can just look at the lessons on my YouTube and you find all these. Just watch and then you'll understand it better. I'm just doing a recap for this lesson. Now the next one is accidental. Accidental. You can also look at what is the meaning? Accidentals, they restore a note to its original position. Accidentals restore a note to its original position. Okay, so if a note is being sharpened or flattened, the moment a natural sign is placed against it, it means it restores either the flat or the sharp to its original position. Okay, so this becomes A, this is B, this is E, this is F, this is G. Good. Now we use our 5 fingers in playing the piano. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the right hand. Then the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you use your 10 fingers in playing the piano. Now this is a dummy keyboard. Let's look at the names. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then the black keys, this is A sharp, okay. At the same time, this is B flat. This is C, C sharp, D, D flat. This is D sharp. At the same time, it is called E flat. This is F sharp or G flat. This is G sharp or A flat. This is B sharp or, this is A sharp or B flat. This is C, this is B, this is C, this is C sharp, this is D, this is D flat, this is D sharp, this is E, E flat, then F, F sharp, and so on and so forth. So that is how the names on the keyboard are being named. So the piano keyboard is a dummy keyboard. Now we move on to key C major. That is a major scale. Key C major. Key C major. So this is how key C major is. We start with, that is middle C, then D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, it can also extend or can also come down. Okay, so this is just the scale that we call tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, C major. So when you look at your keyboard, you see that we have from C to C, you play all the white keys. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 white keys to be played. Okay, now let's look at these examples. Good. This is a song written by William Gladstone. And you can find this song in the Seventh Adventist hymnal number 79. Oh, love of God, how strong and true. So how do we start playing this song? Ebeden Yetimi Abo. First of all, we look at the treble clef. The key signature is C major because there is no sharp, there is no flat here. The time signature is 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Okay, so you start E, D, C, F, that is the melody F, 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 E, E, F, G, A. Look at the notes. Crotchet, 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 minim, okay, crotchet, dotted, minim, 3 beats. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is the time signature. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as that. We know this is a snare. Now, let's listen to how it goes. Here is an accidental. Before we listen to how it goes, look at this accidental, that is sharp, being placed against the tenor. That is G, okay, G, G. So it means instead of playing G, you increase G by semitone. Semitone. When you talk about semitone, this is semitone. This is G. You increase it by semitone. You increase it by half. Half. Okay. From G to A is a full step or is a tone because you have to move to the black key before you come to A. But instead of when a sharp is placed against G, it means G sharp, you play, instead of playing G, you just play G sharp. So with this, when we are playing the tenor, what it means is that the sharp accidental occurs or is relevant only within this bar. Okay, when we move on to the next bar, it does not apply. This sharp does not apply. Okay, so take very good notice of that. Okay, so let's listen to how this song is being played. Excellent. So you can also try your hands on that. So that is our first exercise. Now we can also move on to our second exercise. Now, this is our second exercise. Fruitful trees, the spirits sowing. Now, look at this. The time signature is 4/4. You already know that the key signature is C major. It starts with E, G, C. Okay, crotchet, crotchet, crotchet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the time signature. Now look at accidentals. Look at the accidentals. This one, C sharp. This is G sharp. This is B flat. B flat. So we take good notice of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can practice by using your right hand first, playing the soprano and then the alto. Then after that, you can use your left hand playing the tenor and then the bass. Let me remind you that with SATB, songs written in SATB, you have the soprano and alto on the treble staff, and then we have tenor and bass on the bass staff. Okay, the bass clef. Okay, so soprano, alto, you can use your right hand. Then when you are perfect with it, you can move to the bass the bass side, or you can have the tenor and then the bass. When you are okay with the two, you can just play them simultaneously or play them together by looking at it. Try as much as possible to sight read. It will really help you. Now, let's listen to how this song also is being played, especially with the harmony. Okay. Okay, so you can also try your hands on that. Okay, now we move on to our next test exercise. Look at this one, Man of Sorrows or Man of Sorrow by P.P. Bliss. Now we have 4/4 time. That is the time signature. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Look at the accidental. Okay, so it's being raised. F is being raised. Here, G is being raised. Bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum. Look at the rhythm. Bum, ba, bum. Okay, so we have quartet, quartet, minim. It's as simple as that. It's very simple. Let's listen to how it's been played. Okay. Thank you. Very simple. Let's listen to it once again. Okay. Now, this is Man of Sorrow. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next one. Awake My Soul by Heinrich. This is 2/4, 2/4. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We got the accidentals. Okay, the sharp accidentals and then the flat being flattened. Look at this, a long pause. You can extend it by way of the time signature. Okay, let's listen to it. Mhm. Very good, very good, very good. So this is another exercise. Jesus is tenderly calling by George. Now look at the time signature 6/8, 6/8, 6/8. So we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, look at the accidentals. Okay, take notice about the accidentals. Okay, okay. Now let's listen to how it's been played. Okay, so look at the rhythm, full of quavers, full of quavers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Full of quavers. Okay, now let's look at our last exercise. Our last exercise, look at the accidentals. Who is on the Lord's side? Who is on the Lord's side? Who? Adapted by John. Okay, the time to signature is 4/4. Okay, the crotchets, full of crotchets, full of semi-brief, minim, full of accidentals, dotted crotchet, quiver, okay, into Shannon. You can just take notice of it. Yeah. Okay, now let's listen to how it's being played. It's quite longer than the rest, but let's listen to it once again. You'll appreciate it very much. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, beloved, this is the end of our exercises in C major, in C major, in C major. I will entreat you to subscribe to my YouTube account, that is KINGSLEY OWUSU MENSAH. You just find it, and then anytime I upload all the upcoming lessons, you'll have access to them. Nyame enhyira wo. May the Lord bless you. Nyame mmoa wo. Bra usua music na wopɛ sɛ teach you how to play the piano. God richly bless you.